Born in Connecticut, Rick Rowe's fascination with flying blossomed in 1964 after taking his first plane ride in a Piper Colt with a generous local pilot at Kingston, New York airport. From that moment, Rick was hooked on aviation and began his flight lessons. Fate would delay his flight training, though. With the Vietnam War in its infancy, Rick decided to enlist in the U.S. Air Force in January 1965. For 2.5 years, he was assigned to the 6993rd Security Group, providing military intelligence from various countries in Southeast Asia. Rick was honorably discharged from the Air Force in October 1968, leaving him free to concentrate on a flying career. He earned private and commercial pilot certificates in 1969 and additional FAA ratings and certificates while attending Southeast Oklahoma State University, graduating with a bachelor's degree in aviation science in 1970. After flight instructing for a year in Texas, Rick landed a job with Buckeye Air Service in Cleveland, flying U.S. mail contracts at night in the venerable Beech 18 aircraft. He remained with Buckeye for 2 years, eventually checking out as a first officer in the company's DC-3. Rick moved to Indiana in 1972 to join Madison Flying Service to again fly the Beech 18, hauling general cargo for Emory Air Freight. After Madison entered bankruptcy in 1973, Rick found work still flying the Beech 18 for Rhodes Aviation in Columbus, Indiana. Later that year, he purchased the Madison's Part 135 certificate out of bankruptcy and formed Madison National Airways, basing the company at Indianapolis International Airport and offering twin-engine charter flights and pilot service on various aircraft. Rick earned his first jet type rating in the Learjet 24 while at Madison National. A chance meeting with future co-worker Captain Andy Bethel in 1977 led to a job offer to fly the Boeing 707 as a captain for Air Berlin. Rick accepted and completed 707 simulator training at the TWA training facility in Kansas City. He flew his first trip on the jet from the TWA Kansas City facility to Bangor, Maine, and on to Berlin. Rick spent the next 2 years with Air Berlin flying German tourists from Berlin to various European destinations and Orlando, Florida. Returning home to Indianapolis for the Christmas holiday in 1980, Rick received a call from future Aviation Hall of Fame member George Mickelson's, asking if he was interested in flying a few flights as a contract captain on the 707 for the new Ambassador Travel Club. Rick accepted and began a 28-year career with what would become Indianapolis's hometown airline, American Transair. Rick would fly every aircraft type in the ATA fleet, earning type ratings in the Boeing 707, Boeing 720, 727, DC-10, L-1011, and the Boeing 757-767 to add to the Learjet, Cessna Citation, Beechjet, and Diamond Jet type ratings he held. The airline took advantage of Rick's experience and skill in several ways. He was named an FAA line check airman in every ATA fleet type but the Boeing 727. He was also selected by the FAA as an airline program designee to examine and test pilots for the B-757 type ratings. His tenure with the airline also included serving as the system chief pilot from 1980 to 1987 and as vice president of operations. After ATA ceased operations in 2008, Rick returned to Part 135 flying as captain and director of operations for Solutions Air Charter in Indianapolis. Boeing Aircraft also hired Rick as a Boeing 777 simulator instructor, which provided his 12th type rating in the Boeing 777. In 2009, Rick decided to re-enter government service as an aviation safety inspector with the Federal Aviation Administration. At the FAA, Rick served on the Federal Express Air Carrier Certificate as the Assistant Aircrew Program Manager on the Boeing 777 and as the Aircrew Program Manager on the Boeing 767 fleet. Rick retired from the FAA in December of 2022 after 12 years. But retirement was not to Rick's liking. In 2025, he rejoined the FAA as an inspector with the Midwest Certificate Management Office in Indianapolis, where he works today. In his enduring career, Captain Rowe logged over 30,000 accident-free flight hours, transporting millions of passengers, flew around the world twice, and visited 80 countries and 7 continents.